Dota 2 is one of the best games ever made. There were honestly times where I felt like it is a 10 out of 10. Best game ever, best MOBA I ever played, best game I ever played, better than Heroes of the Storm, better than Warcraft 3 even. In the moments that I was enjoying it, the game was insane. And you kind of hear it already. I'm not enjoying it as much right now, but it's not because it's not a good game. It has the best client that I've ever played with. The music is okay, the gameplay is insane, insanely good, very satisfying when you win. It constantly drives you to strive to get better and so on and so forth. But there's just one little problem. Some members of the community. I'm not going to generalize and say it's everybody, but there's too many. Too many people that are either watching or that you're playing with in solo queue ranked that just don't know how to have a good time anymore. These people are afraid of failure. They're afraid and paranoid of their teammates all the time. They don't know what it's like to just have fun anymore, to practice, to try and get better, that it's sometimes okay to lose. So I'm not sure if I feel like playing the game anymore. This is not definitively the end for me. I recently took a 3-week break and I had a great time playing all kinds of different games. But in those 3 weeks, I didn't really miss Dota 2. I took the break because there were too many people that came to my chat if I'm practicing something that I'm not good at yet. And then saying, hey streamer, this hero that you're practicing that you're not good at yet, you're not good at him yet. Except the way that they say it is, this is 1k MMR at best. I'm 6k MMR by the way. Took me 1.5 years. They would say things like, if you were on my team, I would be reporting you. Why are you griefing? This hero is not for you. And everyone starts somewhere. Everyone starts practicing somewhere. And in the 1.5 year that I've played Dota 2, I came a long way. I am so grateful for the reception that I've had in the Dota scene. I just started innocuously playing Dota 2 one day. Part of my variety journey, I was going to try League, I was going to try Dota, and Dota 2 got its teeth in me. And it sounds predatory when I say that, but really, Dota 2 changed my life for the better. It was super pog, it was super hype starting to play Dota 2. The community was very welcoming. Pro players, streamers, they either knew me from Warcraft 3 times and my accomplishments, or they were curious to get to know me. And I was curious to get to know them. Now, I know the game a lot better. And I appreciate the heck out of the Dota 2 creators that are there. People that have coached me, pro players, people that are casting the big events like Dream League and TI. I'll always be grateful for the people that I've met through Dota 2. Both my viewers and fans, as well as the creators and streamers and casters. I've had such a good time with the game Dota 2. But why do I keep talking about it in past tense? Well, too many times, some of the games that I play in has people on my team that I just feel like I don't want them to win. They're acting like a toxic asshole and I don't feel like they deserve to win, even if we still might be able to get it. You see, as a pro gamer of 11 years, I learned to deal with defeat. I am remarkably okay with losing, maybe sometimes too much, because that's what being a pro gamer is often about. It's learning how to process losing. But a lot of the players that I play with in Dota 2 don't know how to process it. They're so terminally online in Dota 2 that they've become a vengeful spirit. Enjoyed the game once, but now just beholden to the experience. And they don't feel like there's much joy in their gaming anymore, but they're still doing it because it's the thing they're familiar with. There's a lot of good games out there, and I refuse to spend all of my time playing a game where the main goal is to have fun, even if I'm a freaking tryhard at it. If I've got people on my team that just make me want to not play anymore, I think there's better ways to spend my time. Now, for a large part of that journey, I saw this kind of behavior, and I said to myself, I can handle it. I can deal with it. Sometimes you just mute the toxic players, or you pre-mute everybody, or the game is so good that despite of that aspect, you may still feel like it's okay, right? You toughen up a little. I think in a way, it was kind of good for me. You know, I'm mostly kind of a sensitive guy, I think. And I don't think it's weak to admit that. I'm sensitive to bad influences. I'm sensitive to people that do not want the best for you, but you're cooperating with them anyway. And I've got a lot of respect for people that are locked into a job, whatever it is. Some of you guys that are at a job where you're forced to work with someone on your team, right? You're forced to make the bottom line for your company work, because that's your job and that's how you make rent or mortgage, right? And you don't like them at all. They're toxic. They're making you less motivated in your work. But you've got to be professional, disciplined. You got to gray wall them. You got to, I have an insane amount of respect for that. And there's not a moment that I don't realize how lucky I am to be a streamer, a tryhard casual with the entire rich pickings of the gaming scene at our disposal. And I think it's a massive golden age of mankind in general right now. Like, I know it's cool to look at the past and say, oh, this was better in the past and whatever, or in the future we're going to have spaceships. I think we're in a freaking golden age right now. I lived through the birth of the internet. I lived through the birth of amazing games like Warcraft 3 and Dota 2. And there's so many good games coming out right now and are out right now that are ready to be explored. And I don't think it's worth it to play Dota 2, which is a 10 out of 10, when the community sometimes can be quite disappointing. And I should avoid not to generalize, because there's a lot of passionate viewers and players that I've met, and it was so much fun playing with them. At its best, Dota 2 is an insanely great experience, and it may still be right for you to play it now. Hell, I may come back to play it again. I had a 3-week break, and I came back and I played for a day or two, and I really enjoyed my first day back. I thought, yeah, Dota 2 is back on the menu. But it only took 1 or 2 bad experiences to remind me that I don't have to do this. My content is not beholden to this. There's lots of different things I could be doing. Lots of different games I could be interested in. And out of 100 games that I play, there's only one where I'm getting that experience. Some people say that late stage ranked in League of Legends may have the same experience. There's no voice chat, which makes it a little bit more impersonal. But I didn't get that far in League of Legends. At least not yet. In Dota 2, I did get that far. I grinded from unranked and not knowing the game at all to 680 MMR in Herald. And then I took 420 days to go from Herald, which is the lowest rank there is, all the way to Immortal, which is the highest rank there is. Even though there's still an insanely big spectrum of skill difference in the Immortal slice, in the Immortal spectrum. So, what am I saying? Am I definitively quitting and never playing Dota 2 again? I'm not saying it definitively. But I don't look forward to a lot of days or a lot of games like the one I had today. And I think there's other games to play. I want to like it. I want to pre-mute everybody and say, hey, it doesn't matter if they're toxic. But while pre-muting can be the right choice for someone that's forced to play Dota 2 because it's their main livelihood as a creator, or a pro player that's looking to get better and is forced to grind pubs, or even players that, like you guys watching right now, that think that Dota 2 is the best game ever, as I have felt for a long time, and it may still be the case. I may still think that. And if Dota 2 is your only game, I think pre-muting everyone is a great strategy. It's just the thing is, I like to leave the window open for light as well, and not just close the window against burglars. I like it when you get those magical experiences, when you've got people on your team, all kinds of different accents, all kinds of different ethnicities and backgrounds and styles and characters, and some people are flamboyant and some people are introvert, right? And you hear all kinds of voices, but you're all working there for a common good of trying to win that game. I think that's wonderful, and it makes the victory feel even better. There's many times I played League or Heroes of the Storm after embarking on my Dota 2 journey where I felt like I was missing voice chat or many of the other functionalities that Dota 2 comes with. But what I don't miss is people giving up at first blood. What I don't miss is people calling each other dog water, dog shit, and you should uninstall, and you're the worst ever, and you're boosted, and you bought an account. Sometimes it's funny to hear that kind of diatribe, and sometimes it's just exhausting. And what always happens in me, I have been a competitive player for a very long time, even before I started competing in tournaments. I would compete against my brothers, or I would compete online before I was a tournament player, right? And most of that was one-on-one. Team games are a new formula for me that basically started with Heroes of the Storm, as I haven't really played a lot of FPS, and it continued with Dota 2. And in team games, and in general in life, I like to think that when I'm cooperating with someone on the same side, we can set aside some differences to work towards the common good. We can avoid things getting nasty because I see my teammates as a resource. I try not to tick them off and annoy them because I'm trying to win that game together and then we can move on our separate ways. But a lot of people can't do that. The moment I see someone on my team that's actively trying to lose, starting to use their abilities in a griefy way because they felt that there was an infraction against them by me or by anyone, when you tell them to chill out when they're constantly whining, the moment it gets to that point where I see they're actively starting to grief, my interest level in playing the game properly and my mood levels drop quite a lot. That's me. I can't change that about myself, which means that I'm no longer playing to win, which is a very alien feeling for me. And I think it's a waste of time to spend my time like that. I have better experiences that I want to get out of games and out of life than that. So for now, I don't know where it's going to go. I might go play Dota 2 in a 5-man pickup team, right? Try to find people and play together with. Then I'll never have that experience again. Kind of isolating myself from the solo queue that I've often actually preferred in MOBAs. I love solo queuing in general. So it would be kind of an alien approach for me and trying to avoid having random teammates. When it's exactly that random teammates component that I've always found so enjoyable. Coming together, you know, it's kind of RNG in itself. Warcraft 3 has RNG in the damage range and what items you can find. And Dota 2 has RNG what kind of teammates you're going to get. Are you going to have good teammates? Bad? Good mood? Bad? That's all part of it. But sometimes it just gets a bit too much. And I think I've taken enough of a break and done enough comebacks to realize that I'm not in some kind of short-term or long-term tilt. I have kind of lost interest to spend my time with teammates like that. And it's such a shame. If the community was better, Dota 2 would be one of the most fun communities to be a part of. Because there's lots of intelligent players, there's lots of passionate players, there's lots of people that are so passionate about the game. It is so cool to see a community of viewers and chatters and commenters that see all these little vagaries, all the little minutiae of the game, that appreciate all the skill that goes into high-level play. We could be watching a tournament together and me, the vaunted pro gamer, doesn't see as much detail as someone in chat that I don't know what rank they are, but they're an experienced viewer, and they pick up on all these cute little details. That's what actually attracted me to streaming in the first place, more than a decade ago. To realize that there's people out there like me that love the details of complex games. And that part is still beautiful. I'm not shitting on the game or even on the community. I'm just telling you where I'm at with it right now. So you may see less Dota 2 from me, maybe a lot less. I'll be exploring other games. Let's try not to see this as a bad thing. Let's be grateful for the time that we've had together, and hopefully we can have more experiences like this. I am very grateful for it. I'm happy to have met all of you and to have enjoyed these. And I have a new TV series to look at, Dream League TI. I can now, and this was part of the reason why I played Dota 2 and League as well, because I wanted to understand Worlds. I wanted to understand TI, these big gaming phenomena. And I'll always have that. I'll always understand the game to some degree. That's it for now, for me, with my thoughts on Dota 2 and its community. Hope you understand a little bit more about where I'm coming from. And I'll see you guys around with all the different games I'll be playing. Thanks for watching. Cheers.